And welcome back, and we're on to the 2nd of March. It is the 5-a-day further maths paper. I nearly said higher plus then, but that's the other one. So the further maths questions, and let's just jump in with the first one. Okay, so we have factorised. Now, in other videos, I've gone with let's just do some intelligent guessing. Because 12 is 4 and 3, or 2 and 6, or 1 and 12, minus 3 is a bit easier because that's probably just me minus 3 and 1. I think you could probably have a guess at this, but it's going to be a bit messier. If I was in the exam, I'd be very tempted just to go with the algorithm method. So 36 or 12 times minus 3 is the same as minus 36. And that is the same as plus 9 times minus 4. And because plus 9 minus 4 is equal to 5, those are the factors that I want. I'm then going to break this down into 12x squared, so I haven't changed that. I split the 5x down into 9x minus 4x minus 3. Then I'm going to factorise this bit here, which is going to give me 3x 4x minus 3. Then I'm going to hope the next part gives me the same thing, and it does indeed, because it's minus 1 lot of 4x plus 3. Now, didn't do this on purpose, but it's allowed me to discuss it quickly. This is not equal to this, and that is because when I copied my number down, that's a plus 9, which means that's a plus 9, which means that's a plus 3, and now it makes sense. So not intentional, but in a weird way, a technique has managed to catch an error, hasn't it? Either way, that gives me 3x minus 1, bit lucky there, 4x plus 3, and that is my answer to that one. We got there eventually. Next question. For what values of x is y equals x plus 3 squared an increasing function? Now, if you watch my other videos where I go through an exam, this is a really good example of where you have to be a little bit careful. If it's a 1-mark question, I would say to you that you could just sketch this thing nice and quickly. This is minus 3 because there's my root. It's a repeated root. And so therefore, by definition, it's increasing here. So my answer is all values where x is greater than minus 3. If it wants more work, if it says explain your answer clearly or show for working or you must use differentiation, I would then differentiate it. So y equals x squared plus 6x plus 9. If I differentiate it, that gives me dy dx equals 2x plus 6. And then I want it to be increasing, so 2x plus 6 is greater than 0, which means x is greater than minus 6 over 2, which equals minus 3. So same answer in two different ways, but let the question guide you as to how much work you need to do there. That could be more difficult than it looks. Right, next question. And we've still got 3 more questions. There really is 5 questions today. Use Pascal's triangle to work out the coefficient of x squared in the expansion of. Okay, so Pascal's triangle. Now, at this stage, hopefully you do just know what that line is. I know it's 1, 4, 6, 4, 1, but if you need to write out the triangle, that's fine. Of course, that's okay. It's better you do that than get it wrong. Now, if I start with the x to the 4, that's x to the 4, that's x to the 3, that's x to the 2, so this is the one I want. So in other words, my coefficient is going to be 6, which is the combination number. That may make more sense to you later. Times 2x squared, because I want x squared, times minus 11 to the power of 4 minus 2, which is squared. And then I'm just going to expand all of this. So, well, let's just do my calculator. So 6 times 2 times 2 times 121 is 2904 x squared. So therefore the coefficient, because it wants a coefficient, the coefficient is 2904. That's the number before the x squared or the x cubed or whatever it might be. Next question. Right, okay, here we go. Show that. So I'm going to say, I'm going to call it g of x just to be different. And so therefore I'm going to say g of minus 3 is equal to, well, minus 3 cubed is minus 27. I'm showing that, so at least one step of working. 3 times minus 3 squared is 3 times 9, which is plus 27. Well, that's handy. Minus 49 times minus 3 is 49 times 3, which is 147. Minus 147, well, that's not the hardest thing in the world, is it? Is equal to 0. Then the important sentence, as g of minus 3 equals 0, by factor theorem, because I'm showing it, by factor theorem, x plus 3 is a factor of g of x. And I'm done. Hence, or otherwise, but hence is normally a bit of a clue. Find all solutions of. Now, I'm going to draw space over here for me. You've seen me do this elsewhere. In fact, actually, I'm going to zoom in here. So I've got x plus 3. So this is my g of x, if you like. So g of x is this thing here. Now, I know one of the factors is x plus 3. Now, if I do the division, I know I'm going to get an x squared. So in other words, what do I multiply this by to get x squared? X cubed, well, I multiply it by x squared. Similarly, what do I multiply this by to get 147 negative? Well, I multiply it by minus 49. Then I need to ask myself, if I imagine expanding this, so all of this is like doing it by a bit of experience, but equally it's definitely something you can get better at. If I imagine expanding the bracket, well, then it's going to be x times minus 49, which gives me minus 49x. But actually I only want minus 49x. So I've got my 49x's. So therefore it must be the case that this is 0x. So actually my, what am I doing? Hence or otherwise find all solutions. Okay. So therefore my g of x is equal to x plus 3 and then x squared minus 49, which I can go a stage further and say is x plus 3, x minus 7, difference of two squares, x plus 7, which means the answer to my question, because it wanted the solution, is going to be minus 3, 7, and minus 7. And that is my answer to that question. Really nice sort of ending question. I like that question at the end. As ever, do let me know how you do in the comments. Always interesting to hear. And like and subscribe, please. As ever, really trying to make this channel grow a little bit. The more you do that, the more it gets sent to other people. Thanks all.